So you know how like they say relationships is like a 50-50, right? Experience. How you heard that before, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not hating on none of that, right? However, I want us to talk tonight about how there is the power of 100% in relationships. Basically, what we're talking about is wholehearted love. All right.
Mm-hmm.
What's good, Elevation Nation, and welcome to the Elevated Podcast, where your it is your inner tugging and abundance is our reality. I am here with none other than my beautiful, awesome, magnificent wife, Lanisha. How are you doing?
I'm great. I'm amazing.
You're doing great. You're doing amazing. Cool. Listen, let me know where you're logging in from, and we'll go ahead and go from there. I want to know what your state in your city is as we are continuing to go ahead. And if you're catching this on the actual Elevated Podcast when it's launched, then you didn't catch it live, but you do have that opportunity if you would go ahead and look in the show notes and get connected to Elevation Nation. Anyway, wholehearted love. Being able to see somebody from their fullness, for who they are, not from an area of lack, not from an area of limitation, not broken, not missing, not in that place, but really looking at them. And so if it's your first time seeing Lanisha and or myself, we are married, have been married for 16 years. And so
we'll be 17 soon.
It will be 17, but I'm holding on to the area of 16 because you know how do I go on the forward? Be like, all right, it's been 17 years and then we ain't quite there yet. But one more month and then it'll be 17 years, right?
Wow.
That's been dope.
Yeah.
But I would say that I'll speak for me. I didn't always look from a wholehearted perspective.
Me either.
So yeah. I mean, you can talk a little bit about that. They hear my mouth a whole lot. So
yeah, I think that may even partly be because of culture.
Okay.
Because you hear all the time, people say it all the time, my better half.
Okay.
Or you make me whole. Or, you know, I'm nothing without you. Like all of these things that sound so romantic, right? But they also allude to the fact that one person isn't enough by themselves.
Okay.
And I don't agree with that. Like,
you don't agree with what?
That you're not enough by yourself.
Okay.
Right. So, yes, I do believe being in relationship, you make me better, encourage me to be better. You know,
I don't make you better, but
I'm saying like your presence, your encouragement, your love, your support, those things help in me continuing to want to be better.
Yes.
To be the best version of myself. Like your presence in my life helps me to kind of keep that perspective about myself. And so that I would agree with. But when people say like, you know, I'm only half of a person or whatever until, you know, I meet the one, like I don't subscribe to that. And I don't encourage other people to either, because, you know, you can be an amazing person, even in singleness, even in, you know, just taking your journey.
Right.
So, yeah.
No, I love it. I mean, trust me, like all the songs, they sound good, right? They do. And they make you like, oh, that's romantic. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's me. But I mean, you even think about it. It doesn't make logical in your world, logical sense that I'm a half of a person coming to a half of a person. I'm a whole person coming to another of a whole person, a whole being. We all have the divine within us, and it's fully active and operational with no limitation. And so I do agree that we come to an area that there can be a place where I can release something from my isness that makes you aware or remind you of some things that may have been forgotten, or, you know, again, because we can cooperate as well with the divine. It's just that divine connecting to divine, and just we do life together, and it turns into a whole thing. But if it's not in health, it can be a crutch, it can be a blame, it can be a wholehearted situation pertaining to that, not necessarily the area of love. And reminder, the divine, God, source, whatever you want to call it, that's love, right? So that wholehearted love is looking at that picture. When I see Lanisha, or I see whoever you are, never not in just the context of a relationship, I should be able to see the divine within the being, and not just seeing the things that are frustrating to me, or things that I don't fully understand, or things that I go ahead and judge, because then that puts us to, as we learned, the area of our brain, of area sometimes of that ego side and that dualism versus looking at the area of oneness pertaining to that. All right. So Kristen, whoever else is out there, because you're the one I see commenting, if you have any questions, any thoughts about this topic on hand, and again, with the area of relationships, yes, we speak a lot about marriages because that's, who we are and what we've been coaching for all these years. But looking at the area of relationships, period, we got to look at that place to realize that I bring 100% of that energy, of that vibration, of that frequency. That's what's going to make this thing move forward. And here's a unique thing about all that too that I think is pretty dope, that when we aren't vibing on the same frequency, that we don't have to lower ourselves to a different frequency or be at a point in place where we own what the other one is going through and make that our business either.
Yeah.
Go ahead, talk about it. I'll drink to that.
I think one major lesson I learned once we started going into therapy together was that, I didn't have to wear that I didn't have to take on, oh, he looked like he got an attitude, I'm gonna have an attitude too. And, he must be mad at me, or, whatever we go through in our minds. And, we have a whole story and backstory to what the problem is that we're not addressing. Instead of, one very empowering phrase that I adopted and embraced was like, whatever he, or even, other people you might be in relationship with or dealing with, coworkers, friends, even kids, what they're dealing with in this moment has nothing to do with me. Right? Like how they're choosing to process whatever it is that they're processing doesn't have anything to do with me.
What do you mean by that?
Meaning I can't control, first of all, how you choose to respond to a situation, right? That's one. The other is I shouldn't make the assumption that because you seem bothered, first of all, that you are bothered. You might be just in deep thought, right? But I shouldn't assume that you're angry with me.
But what if I am pissed at you?
Or that you think, even if you are, again, that goes back to my first point. I can't control how you choose to respond to being upset with me, because you could choose to come and talk to me about the situation and we resolve it. But if you're choosing, or if I'm choosing to walk around and pout or give you the silent treatment, that's a me problem. That's not a you problem, even if I really am mad at you. So that's what I mean when I say like choosing the thought or the posture that your reaction and your response right now has nothing to do with me. Like I can't do anything about it. And so for me, it's better to just allow you to process whatever it is. I can ask the question, are we good? Something we need to talk about, whatever the case might be. But overall, I'm going to choose not to take your evident frustration and carry it as my own.
That's good. I'm gonna jump in. Okay. Appreciate what you said. It's cool. No shade whatsoever. No. What I really want to throw out there for our viewing and listening audience is, and I want some feedback on this too. Oh, Kristen, you so sold out. You said I'm driving, I'm still listening. I love it. Listen. And some other had also messaged me saying that they had a hard time kind of, participating on the area of the live, but let's continue to move with this. I want to know, are you willing to fully accept all of who your partner, your spouse really is? Like, I think that's the part to really sit with. We're talking about the area of wholehearted love. Like, are you willing to accept who they are? Now, mind you, who you married or who you started to be in a relationship with or friendship with or whatever the case may be, when you met them and what you fell in love with might not be their authentic self. And so we've been doing this for 16 years. And so I know I'm not who you married initially. And so, what we'll do is sometimes we'll crucify them to that cross, that this is the way that you were, or this is the way that I want it. Like, you can change your mind, you can change who you are, but will you still love me wholeheartedly no matter what?
Yeah.
And that's what I'm talking about. If you have the love of the love of the divine, like that's that type of love. That's that wholehearted love that even if I don't understand it and it frustrates me or it's not my preference, that I can still love who you are.
Yeah.
I can remember when we first started shedding things. I was nervous. I was like, Lanisha is starting to walk around and she acted a little different. Like, and you know how I feel about the area of words and speaking to me. I was like, if she started coming at my neck a little sideways, I might need a little bit more sessions. And I remember reaching out to our therapist and talking and praying and doing all that type of stuff. I was nervous. And I think just like we've learned, I think people are, I agree with Dr. Sutton that people are nervous about the unknown. And that's the part that kind of can jack you up.
Yeah.
Like, wait a minute. Like, I know at least some people stay in relationships for the purpose of the known. At least I know this situation. I know this, I can do that. But this area where I don't have control, where I don't, if I have to go with the wave, with the flow of things, then that makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And I need to be able to define you as this person and know you and do that. And if you flip the script on me, I lose that area of control and then something has to go ahead and happen to me. And so that hits me in a unique way. All right. What's good, bro? How are you? All right. So talk to me a little bit about that.
I mean, that's absolutely true, right? Nobody's going to stay exactly the same for the rest of their life.
Okay.
Right. We got married young and have since had children, career changes, ups, downs, all around, emotional, situations, depression, anxiety, stress. Like we've had all these things that have all worked together for our good, but have also changed us. Right. And so through that, that's why we say, like, when we coach couples, like, it's a daily choice to love.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Love is a daily choice, and it's something that we each have to choose every day to keep going.
Yeah.
And even in the moments when we don't like each other necessarily, we might not like.
Whoa, wait a minute. What you talking about, girl? What you talking about?
I
know what?
That
what you talking about?
You don't like me all the time and I don't like you all the time. But we love each other and we choose to get past that moment of, again, my way of processing. I have to process however I'm going to process. But then ultimately, like at the end of the day, I'm still choosing you. I'm still choosing love. I'm still choosing to wholeheartedly love you and the God inside of you. And I think that's the part that a lot of times we miss in relationship, is that divine being that's there. And I'm looking at your outer shell and I'm looking at your responses and I'm looking at your reactions in the moment. And because it may be unfamiliar to me, now I'm afraid, or now I'm worried, or now, is he the same person? Is he going to stick around? Is he like, what's going on? Versus still choosing to show up in love and work through those things together instead of checking out.
Yeah, I love it. I wanted to know what you think. Y'all can please put your comments in the comment section as well. Where did this I need to change my spouse stuff, partner, people come from? I just want to know, like, what is that like? Because that's totally against the mindset that I'm talking about. If I'm viewing it from an area of there's nothing missing, nothing lacking, nothing broken within Lanisha Marie Johnson, then
thank you for putting my whole
absolutely. That's what I do, and I love you too. All right. See, that's that part where you don't like me, but you still love me anyway. But like nothing missing, nothing broken, nothing lacking. So I see you from that area, that whole. But the things that I don't like, or whatever, like I'm gonna fix that. I need to fix that. Now I've been free from the spirit of fix. And I'm continuing to choose it daily. And I can speak from a person who always, even in areas coaching, counseling, always like, oh, I can fix that. I can fix that person doing that. But that's what I mean about truly accepting you as you are. I think that's when you really can see them like, okay, so what do you feel like? I mean, you can get disappointed, and you can but it's that area of the false expectations that I think we got to vibe higher with and realize, like, okay, it's good. Like, I think we make things so much bigger than they really are. And I'm talking from a person who does that all the time, pretending to be extra, and they don't have to be those situations. But when it comes down to the real stuff, I think we do a good job of really sitting with that, right? I might like to go to this service. I might like to go and visit this person. I might like to do this. And you might choose not to do that. You might choose to do something differently and express your isness in a different way. But that doesn't mean that I need to change you.
I think the biggest part is the need to please other people.
Oh, talk to us about it.
Because, you know, you grow up in the family you grow up the way you grow up. So, you know, my family expects things to look and be this certain way, or I grew up in this community and this is how it's always been. You know, married couples do it like this, and this is how it should look. And this, you know, this is the woman's role. This is the man's. Like, we grow up culturally with all these things, and we pick up and carry those things as if they're truth.
Ooh.
And they might be someone's truth. But most likely they're not yours. And so we bring all of that into relationship. And now, oh, you're not fitting this mold that I'm used to, that I've seen. So I need this to shift a little bit, because what are they going to say? Like you said, you know, if you're out in the public and you're doing things and I choose to not be present in that moment, what are people going to think? Do I have to make up an excuse? Do I have to?
For a second.
Why?
Huh? Can we park that for a second?
Sure.
I'm all the way free right now, so it is what it is, you know. Man, can I tell you, I just want to free somebody right now. If you're looking in the screen, I'm talking about the third row. I can see you right over there with your hands wave right there. Yeah, I want to just free you right now from this right now. Listen, you be you, and you not allow, right? Just choose to embrace the fullness of whoever you're choosing to do life with. If you do that and y'all are good, that's what matters.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times not even genuinely what I felt, but somebody make a comment. Where's your wife at? Where's this at? What's this at? Start making me double think about, well, maybe I should have such and such. Maybe I should be doing it this way. Like, when you or the opposite, feel like I gotta have something special to say.
Yeah.
If I'm choosing to express myself this way, then you must have to be. So we love each other. We do a lot together, and that's dope.
Yeah.
And not everybody's that particular way. But it shouldn't cause discord in that particular level. Even in the area of your expression of your job or your children or whatever the case may be. As they unfold, there's a whole level of judgment depending on who you are as a leader, an emerging leader, on how you should be raising your kids or how they should be responding. Again, once you realize who you are and you have that relationship with them and you allow and continue to develop them and they're unfolding, you gauge in, you do what you got to do, but you're not just looking at them. We all have the divine within. It's divine to divine. And what I'm going to do is kind of see what my role is, being who I am and my expression, and seeing that in you or the children or so forth and so on. And as we move forward, it's going to be victory. We stunt the growth. We can hinder the progress because of external opinions, thoughts, belief sets, or tradition, or whatever.
Or internal thoughts and limiting beliefs and perspectives.
But where did they come from?
They come from what I mentioned. They come from, maybe the way you grew up or
external.
Yeah. So, but I'm saying a lot of times we end up adopting those things.
Absolutely. As our own beliefs.
As our own.
Yes.
And so then those things begin to show up, and that's what we're trying to force. And somewhere along the line, even that begins to not work because it's not genuine. It's not your truth. It's not the truth.
Yeah.
And so that's what we have to get to. And the sooner we can do that as individuals, knowing what we actually believe, knowing what we actually want for ourselves, how we are cooperating with God in this earth realm, like knowing that, working on that, seeking that out whether we're in relationship or not, sets us up either way for an amazing life.
Absolutely. I love it. I love it. Any comments, any questions, any thoughts? My brother, Tony Lowe, you are amazing. I need you to go ahead and say something out there. All right. Let us know. All right. I'm going to throw this question out there because I thought it was a good one, and put that thing out there. All right. So how do you or your partner support each other in maintaining a high vibe state during challenging times? All right. I'm gonna put that thing out there. And the reason why I do that is because of what we talked about before. As being such a feeler, naturally, it would put me in a place where if you were not feeling well, physically, spiritually, emotionally, I would adopt that thing and let it do my thing. So how can you maintain your high vibe or whatever the case may be? And if somebody's going into your spouse is going to a challenging time, or maybe even you are, right? So you can basically, let's talk a little bit about that. The law of transmutation of energy. See, I got it. I had to slow it up. Go ahead.
So this is something I learned a lot from you. Just
me? Go ahead.
Is just watching how you work, how you operate, like being able to just fully still be you, even in I'll just say a chaotic situation, right? Like to be able to be positive, or to be able to even change the atmosphere with your presence, with your peace, with your calm, with your cool, whatever it might be. A lot of times that'll make the chaos slow down and be like, wait a minute, what's up with him? How is he so, like, all this that's happening right now? How it makes you stop. It makes you think. And I believe that as you work on self again, as you learn what that piece is for you, as you learn who you are and embrace that and love that and walk in it, like nothing around you can impact you unless you allow it to.
That's good. That's good.
So when I choose to get frustrated because I see you frustrated, that's all me. Like, I don't have to choose that. I can still choose to be loving. I can still choose to be kind. I can still choose to, go about my day and do what it is that I'm purposed to do at that time, without allowing somebody else's situation, circumstances, feelings, frustrations, or whatever it may be to bring me out of alignment. Yeah.
I think the thing that's helpful too is when you see, sometimes you got to see the principle and not just look at the person. All right. We had a conversation this week.
That was so fun.
No, well, listen, no, but I think it's perfect, to talk about that. All right. We had a budgeting conversation. All right, y'all. So we talk about budgeting. It's fun stuff. Right. And so during that was my perfect example. Like, I seen where you were at that state. And I was like, okay, well, you got to be conscious of that stuff. The principles are the principles. Like, I could go there with you and now we're going to be at each other because somebody got to be at fault, or somebody get it. And that's ego. That's all types of stuff that's coming from there. But the principle is, this is where we are. This is what we're choosing. And so we're on the same team. So can I look through the personal feelings of the things and be able to get to the principle and then operate from there, right? And so sometimes you got to sit and get yourself together and communicate. I think if we're communicating through it all, it's going to be helpful. So even if you hear something, it's like, you know what, that rubbed me the wrong way. That's that part that's freeing. That ain't got nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
It rubbed you the wrong way.
Yeah.
Now, I may have said something, whatever the case may be, but at that time, you still have the power of choice.
Right.
So you can come back at me. That's a choice. You can set me straight. That's a choice. But what is all that really doing for the area of wholeness or the area of relationship? Yeah. Now, different times looking at that, I'm not saying that's giving people a green light to be nasty or anything like that. I'm not encouraging that either. But what I am looking at is when we're on the same team and we're operating from a higher level and we're realizing that, then we recognize, oh, okay, I need to process some things. And I think if we start to look internal first, deal with self, why did that bother me?
Yeah.
why, even if it was a tone, but why did that bother me? What do I believe about myself, or what is it that I'm putting out about myself that's making people think it's okay to treat me or talk to me that way? Or what is it that vibrational that I'm putting out there that I'm attracting that? And whatever it is, that I can shift it. I have the power of the divine within me, with source within me that has no obstruction. Spirit has no obstruction. So therefore, if I'm right here, that law of polarities lets me know that if this is true in this state, in area of frustration, I can also be this in another state. So I can choose no matter what. Okay, I feel that low. That made me mad. But you know what? I can look at the principle and I can shift that thing just like that. I think we've taken ownership of some of the lower feelings, ownership of whatever it is. And it's like, now we're missing the point. That's that miss the mark aspect of it. But if we can look through that and see the divine and the principle, I believe that we can go to a higher place. And so if somebody wants to go to a higher place, they go ahead and put that thing out there. You can type that in the comment section. Higher place.
Yeah.
Talk to me.
Yeah. You definitely, again, it's all about choice. Like, having the choice is such a powerful thing, because I don't have to at any point choose to lower myself. Mm-hmm. Right. And, you know, for some people that might make somebody upset. Somebody might be looking for a fight, right? Yeah. Somebody might be looking for that tension. But when you choose, and that's what I mean by like what I've learned from you, because when you choose to still stay level, it might annoy me, right? It might frustrate me, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna be. It forces me to quiet myself, because then I'm like, okay, let me think about this for a minute. Like, did I have to act that way? Yeah. Did I have to say it that way? You know, did I think before I even spoke? Like, you know, it causes the other person as well to do some self-reflection, hopefully.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Because I switched one of my strategies up and you picked it up. But I want to know how you really feel real time. You ready? Are y'all ready? About to get real. There may be times that you release something to me and I don't respond. Mm-hmm. And you say, are you ignoring me? Or something like that. You know what I'm talking about?
You mean like face to face, or you mean like by text or something? No,
I don't do that. I don't play it on text. Like, you might say something or whatever and I don't respond.
Oh, yeah.
And you be like, I know you heard me. Mm-hmm. Type of situation. Talk to me about that. How do you?
I don't like that.
Okay.
I would prefer that you say, I heard what you said. I need to think about it. Or I heard what you said and I don't have a response right now. Mm-hmm. Versus ignoring me. Because that's the way I interpret that. Mm-hmm. That for whatever reason you're choosing to ignore me. Mm-hmm. Which to me, it's frustrating.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I think because I know you, I know, oh, he's processing, or he's irritated, or he didn't, whatever. Mm-hmm. And then I just, okay, whatever. Mm-hmm. But I think the higher option for the both of us is to even communicate when we're not ready to communicate.
I respect that. So my heart posture on that is, the scripture talks about let no unwholesome word come out of your mouth. Mm-hmm. And so I'm there like, if I say what I'm feeling right now, that vibration is not one that is higher. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta process this thing, which I know, mm-hmm. that I have to process it. And that's what I mean by the area of preference that kind of kicks in as well, mm-hmm. too, because you just prefer me to communicate out there and do whatever the case may be. Mm-hmm. But I hear what you're saying, and I can be more intentional about that. Or I can throw a code word up there that you already know what's going on pertaining to those things. But again, we still have the option in that too, to be like, that has nothing to do with me. Or, You got what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what I mean by the area preferences as well. Because what if I continue to go ahead and do that? We still can choose.
Yeah.
To be like, the heart of it is, can you look through where I'm at and see the divine that's saying something him and God is going on pertaining to whatever the situation is, and we can come from there. I can do my part as well, but we got to rise up to that as well and give each other the benefit of the doubt. Amen, saints. All right. Good counseling session, y'all.
Yeah, but here's I'm not done with that.
Because
here's what, because the reason I say communicate through it is because I do know you, and at times we do know, and for some of us that's watching, that the level of petty that can happen sometimes. So is he being petty right now? Because then if that's the case, like, we're not doing that.
But that's a whole lot of brain work on your side to try to figure out too.
That's what I'm saying. Okay. So it instead of causing all this brain work that is going to happen on my side, why not just say, yeah, I don't really want to talk about this right now.
Because a million things hit my mind.
Or just give me a timeout signal.
I can deal with that. I can do that.
All right. Okay, we can switch now.
Did that help somebody? Let me know. Let me know if that helps somebody right there. I can do that. Did
it help that he put me on the spot in a real life
situation? If we're going to do this life and do this thing, we're going to do this stuff. We're talking about wholeness. We're talking about life and business and ministry. I mean, everything gonna be scripted. Let's do it. It's a healthy relationship. Worst case scenario is we book a session with Doc after this.
Like right after.
You know what I'm saying? Like, Doc, if you're watching, you already know. All right. Okay.
We did have a question that came in outside the chat because they were having trouble with the chat. Okay. Is it come through the Elevation Nation community? That would be a good place to put that, but no, it did not. Even if you have the ability to control self, how does the partner say, maybe I could have handled that differently? I was talking to that person in another chat, so you're going to either read that again or answer it yourself. Why? Because that person texted me, so I had to figure out. I had to respond there, so I didn't hear what you said because that person texted me about something else. Even if you have the ability to control self. Okay, I can control self. How does the partner say, maybe I could have handled that differently? Do you understand? If I understand the question correctly, I think it still boils down to choice. Okay. Like, it's each person's choice how they're going to respond in a situation. If you both are working toward a healthy relationship, thriving relationship where y'all vibing together on the same frequency and the same, then hopefully you're both choosing that higher choice. We don't always do it. No, we don't. Nobody gets it perfect, right? But at the end of the day, I think it's still the choice that to look at self. That is the biggest thing. One of the biggest things that we advocate for, even in relationship coaching, right, is self evaluation. It's so much easier to look at the other person and get upset with them and get angry with them and get frustrated with them. And why'd you act like that? Or why'd you have to say this? Or why'd you have to say it that way? Or why'd you have to bring it up now? And why? Like, it's a million different ways and reasons that we could blame the other person. Excuse me. When the truth is, we need to look at self. And if we're both doing that, it's really nothing that can come up in between the two of you, because you're looking at self for the purpose of the whole. Okay. And so I hope I'm answering that question right. And you can hit us back if not, and if not, and you want to hang on to the after party after this, then those of you like the after party, what you talking about? Well, after our Monday Night Live vibe, what we do is hop on over to a Zoom for a few moments and actually talk to these things live. So you can hop on a Zoom call if you're in Elevation Nation. That's specifically for Elevation Nation members. Okay. And so if you're there, you can hop on over there. And so you can click that link and we will be right there and talk about some of the stuff
get clarity to your questions, give a different vibe. You can like, Christian, Lanisha, I don't agree with that. Blah, blah. You can go ahead and do all that stuff there, and we'll talk you things through that as well. All right. Also, opportunity for those if you desire to as well, as far as the area of the giving and your commitment pertaining to the community. That's also there in the about section, and you can post those links too for those. And if you're okay with this, those who are given financially and sewing, I'd like to take that 20% and give that to Dr. Miles's Dream Big Academy. And long story short, what that is a Dream Big Academy in our local area. Dr. Miles for years has been taking young African American and minority men, young men, I think even going up to like age, well, 6th grade, 5th grade, he was even earlier there, taking them through and giving them experiences, and it charges them nothing at all. And so whatever is raised through your giving, whether it's through your commitment or you feel led to sow, even on tonight on those links, we're going to take 20% of that and give that straight to Dream Big Academy. And every time we go live for these times, and there are funds that we're going to take 20% and give them to organizations that we have a cause and a belief and do that together. All right. So that's our side note. Let's get back on to these questions on the relationship side. All right. So
is that right?
I'll have to check that out. Any questions? Anything else on there?
No.
Okay, that's the
Kristen said, I like it when someone tells me they're processing a lot.
Yeah, that's not the, I don't think that's the Cash App, but you can check that.
Oh.
Yeah, what do you mean by that, Chris? What are you talking about? Are you going to jump on the after party and talk to us about that? Cool. All right, so while Lanisha's getting the right links on there for you guys, let's talk about, let's go in this direction. The inner abundance, because we've been talking about the area of abundance this month. And so with the area of relationship, with the area of inner abundance, and what was the definition of abundance that we heard today that was so dope? The ability to do what you want to do whenever you want to do it. Mm-hmm. That was dope. Mm-hmm. Right? So the inner abundance. So we recognize that sometimes there's a lot of limiting beliefs. Somebody put that in the comment section. Limiting beliefs. Thank you for that right there. Limiting beliefs. And again, they can come from, beliefs, belief system, religious situations. They can come from upbringing, culture, all this type of situation, or you just things that you've adopted about self. And so with these limiting beliefs, that hinders that area where we feel like, again, I'm not enough. Going to even talk to our sister, her whole verbiage of I am enough. Yeah. Sometimes we hit in that place of like, I feel like I'm not enough, or I feel like this, or because this relationship didn't work out, or this is that. So it must be this, or it must be that, right? We have preferences, we have choices. But once we look at that place, realizing that I have the ability, because the divine within me, made in the image and likeness of the divine, of God, of source, that I have power. There's nothing missing, nothing lacking, nothing broken within me. I have that inner abundance. I start at a place of 100. Mm-hmm. That's the whole point and premise of the mindset. I'm trying to shift us or make us aware that we can choose not to agree with the mindset that I am low, that I'm broken, that I'm nothing, that I'm all those things and beliefs and different things like that. Like my whole life is life full of sin and all that other stuff. I get it, I understand it, but it doesn't have to be your choice nor your reality, because of the divine that is within you, around you, and amongst you, and all through you. So you have a place of inner abundance. Do you believe that? That's where we first start. Yeah. Starting at 100. When you see that, it's not an area of even just proving, because now we're even learning about in language, and you might could talk a little about this, about that specialization. Feeling special. Like, mm-hmm. I got to be special, mm-hmm. In that area. And we pride ourselves off of that. Our titles are off of that. I know I'm the one that's still trying to get fully free from there. I'm treading there, but it's something inside of us that makes us feel like, no, you need to do this, or you need to do that, or you need to be this. And I get the whole empowerment piece. But when we look at the area of not being special, like, we all got the divine within us. Yeah. And we're all in the area of the oneness. Yeah. So, like we heard last night, I had to come to a conclusion that I refuse to come from the place and believe that I'm so special that this is going to work for everybody else, but it ain't going to work for me. Mm-hmm. Like, what is that?
And see, here's the thing, even with that, right? This is how much I think culture has messed us up, right? Because when you hear somebody say, "Oh, you think you're special," like we automatically say that, like that means, "Oh, I think I'm better."
Mm-hmm.
But you could actually think you're special in that you're the only one who can't have something or can't do something for whatever reason. You don't qualify.
Yeah.
Like that's what we mean by nobody's special. Like nobody, we are all created in the image and likeness of God.
Mm-hmm.
Every single human being on this planet who's ever been on this planet, who will ever be on this planet.
Wait a minute. You got to say a certain prayer to go ahead and be qualified in that, right?
No.
Okay. Keep going.
We're all created in the image.
Okay. Gotcha.
Mankind was created in the image. And so none of us are special. None of us are more qualified or less qualified to be who he created us to be. Like you cannot, no matter how bad you try, be me. And there's nothing I can do to be you, but we are all created in the image and likeness of him.
Oh,
so if we
say it again, girl. Say it. I'm gonna sew. Where's your Cash App? I'm gonna sew into that one right there. Good God Almighty. Okay, go ahead.
But if we all choose to say, hey, like we really are all on this journey together. Mm-hmm. We're really all on this journey together. And if I'm watching so-and-so like thrive and do an amazing, what I perceive to be an amazing thing, and they're doing it and they're living their life, they're living their best life, as we like to say, why can't I? Not that I'm comparing and wanting to live my life like them.
Right.
But what I'm saying is there's nothing more special or less special about them or me.
Wow.
And instead of looking at others' accomplishments or looking at even other people's relationships and getting down on ourselves that, oh, I'll never have it like they got it, or why they got it and I don't. Mm-hmm. But, it's amazing what they have.
That part.
And truly celebrating that part. Truly being happy, genuinely happy and hoping the best for them. Mm-hmm. It raises your level of vibration so that you can get to that level to have it, your desire. I'll just say, not have it, have your desire as well. Mm-hmm. Like what you're desiring to have. Mm-hmm. I didn't say it right.
No, you're good. What I want to say to that is the reason why, because they need to watch Dr. Sutton's last episode. Mm-hmm. And well, it'll be out anyway for y'all, the community, and for the community, it'll be out tomorrow. All right. So the desire versus like the choice of the demonstration. And so I think it's the part where, at least for me, and just clear this up, maybe y'all are aware, Lanish, we're in the same agreement with you mean, but as far as the articulation and the language for me is, sometimes we can go to a place of saying, I desire this, like, I desire to be married, or right, I really want that marriage. So a lot of times we don't realize that's from a place of lack, because we're putting it out there as a place that I don't have it. So what the universe says is, okay, I'm going to continue to give you desire.
Yeah.
Right. So the desire of it. So you got all day long, you're like, I ain't manifesting. Oh, yes, you are. More desire, but not the manifestation on the other side of the desire. Right. But when you go ahead and come from there and you deal with what you have and what you're looking at the area of wholeness and you're visualizing and you see it and you feel it and you're operating as those things. I remember years ago, I heard a preacher talk about, talking about finding a wife, finds a good thing, and talking about the area of that wife is the wife before she had the ring on her finger and so forth. It's the mindset. It's the area of seeing those things, understanding those things as though they are. Because again, this is just a reflection of what is already within us.
Right.
Like you already are those things with the divine, right? We're not waiting on those things to happen. And so looking at that, seeing that, it's like, no, what it is this is what I'm choosing. And this has to show up because of who I am and how I'm operating, and that I'm the mental equivalency, or being the mental equivalent to what it is that is within me that has to come forth. Mm-hmm. So they got to match. Yeah. I can't be at the place where I'm like, oh, you know, I'm choosing marriage and I'm choosing a healthy relationship, but I don't want to communicate. And I'm not at the mindset to understand what being faithful is or what it looks like to do life with somebody or anything like that. Yeah. I'm not truly operating from that love and posture. You're not being the mental equivalent to that. Yeah. And so therefore the universe, God is like, you're not ready for that. And I'm not going to violate my law. So we ain't enforcing those things. And so you can continue just to deal with the desire of, because you're not at that place of ready, or that male or female that you've been wanting and desiring. And now you're like, okay, now I'm not coming from there. I believe that I'm attracting that. Then you got to realize and look at, again, if you're willing to, if God was to put that person in that situation right before you today, will you accept all of who they are now, their next, their future, their great days, their worst days, good breath, bad breath, teeth missing, all that stuff? Are you willing to accept them as they are?
Yeah.
I'll stop.
Yeah.
I went off a little bit. We good with every time. Listen, I think, you know, if they don't have no perfectly stated, bless you, bro. I want to go into the community. I'm going to talk back to a couple people. So we should wrap this part up so we can go ahead and get to the after party. What you think?
Yeah.
How you feel? Mm-hmm. You good with that? All right. So you guys are amazing. Elevation Nation, hop on with us. The link is in the calendar in the Elevation Nation. Yes, in the community. All right. So hop on there. We'll have some conversations, go a little bit deeper in this. Again, if you have the opportunity to give, go ahead and give. And for the rest of you, you're amazing. You're awesome. You're chosen. You are abundance. We have nothing but positive vibes and power to come your way. And we want you to go ahead and stick around for the next episode. And trust me, once Dr. Sutton's episode is released on Happy Money, listen, let me tell you, you watch that thing over and over and over again, because it will bless your life, your pockets, your purpose, your passion. All right. So we love you. You're amazing. And Elevation Nation, we're going to see you in a few minutes. All right. Peace.
Bye.